So a couple of days ago, Diodes Gone Wild posted a teardown of a fairly complex stud finder that could find pipes and electrical wires as well as studs in your wall. And I realized that I've got a stud finder as well, this one here. And the way this works is you hold it down and the light is supposed to turn on when you run it across a stud. And you'll notice it's not doing anything here, and that's because this is a wall that borders onto my neighbor's, and this has concrete board within it. So this $5 jobby can't do anything useful on this. So let's go try it on an outside wall that doesn't have that problem. So here we have an outside wall, and on this wall, I'll turn it on, it will oops, I may have started it on a stud. It should work on this wall. There we go. Yeah, I must have been over a stud when I calibrated it. When you hold down the button, it calibrates. We'll see. Yep, you see I was over one there. Or over something. And now we've got does tend to lose calibration sometimes, this thing. These walls are a little bit more complex than you think because there's a large power cable running through here as well. Anyway, I don't find it very useful. You can find studs the old-fashioned way easily enough. So let's have a look inside this thing and see what the absolute bargain of the barrel, borderline useless stud finder looks like on the inside. You can see if it does anything interesting on the desk. Will it detect? No. This is not a terribly useful device. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's have a look. So it uses 9-volt battery here. I'll take that out. Put it out of the way, and it looks like we've got a couple of screws here. I wouldn't expect there's much more than a blob and an antenna probably built into the circuit board. I will say on just a plain gyprock wall without any surprises like the ones here, this does work all right, but well, I think that's just a molding. Let's see. It felt like it was going to come out. Okay, I think I've got it now. It has latches that release if you line up the spudger just right and go down to release the latch. There must be one more. There we go. See, these latches here. So, what have we got? Bits of plastic that I've knocked out of it. We've got a little circuit board. We've got a connector that comes through here. This must be the antenna. Let's take the circuit board out. I assume we'll just have our two LEDs, a chip, and a clicky button here. There's a potentiometer. Okay, so what have we got? We've got a blob. We've got a calibration potentiometer. We have I don't know what that is. Let me get some other glasses here. Let's see if I can read what that says. That says EZ5B. I'm looking at this EZ5B. These are the two pins coming over to the to what I presume is the antenna. There are two LEDs. It says power and ground, LED 1, LED 2. I've left a capacitor off here and a resistor off there, and that looks like some other potential circuitry. Maybe there is one with a buzzer. That would seem reasonable. There's a diode. I don't know what these are. Oh, those are just, sorry, that's just the soldered ends of this wire coming through. Battery minus, battery plus. And then just this pot here. So EZB8. I might as well look that up. Oh, and a clicky tactile switch on the side. Just looks like a signal diode. We'll look up that chip. It's EZ58. I've got this wrong. Well, I can't find that anywhere. It's marked as U1. Could be a regulator. Anyway, I've got no idea what it is. EZ58. 3 pins and it's a 2-sided board. Yeah, I think it's a regulator because we have at least one of these is the battery coming in. We've got a couple of capacitors. Sorry. Now you obviously can't see any of that, or didn't see any of that. So I'm trying to figure out what it goes to. One looks like it goes to battery positive. We've got a couple of capacitors across. I think it might be a regulator to bring down the 9 volts to 5 or whatever this uses. Well, I don't know. Anyway, kind of interesting. Can we get this antenna out? Let's see. Maybe I'll use some alcohol and see if we can get the glue to dissolve a little bit. Enough for us to get in here. Let's see if we can get this out without breaking anything. give it just a little more of a spray here to try to no, there we go. There are a couple of projects where I wish I knew the alcohol trick earlier. So, well coated with alcohol. There's the antenna. It's just this U shape with on one conductor and this on another. I don't know enough about how antennas work, and certainly not in the frequency range that this would operate at, to really understand that. Kind of like, would it be kind of like a dipole between the two? I have no idea. Or would this produce a signal and this sense it? No, your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, so that's all there is to it. Not too much, as one would expect for the price. A pretty limited tool, really. I think I would not buy one of these if I was intending to use it for serious purposes. But I'm not too upset with it as an impulse purchase. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the look inside this Stanley, well, model number I've torn off, stud finder. And, well, I guess I'll put it back together and see if it works. There it is back together, working well, about as well as it ever did, which isn't very well. I hope you enjoyed the look inside this Stanley stud finder, and have a good evening.